Trauma impacts safety in the body because the brain no longer views the body as safe. So, reconnecting with the body is essential to be alive. But it is also very scary because, your brain is, disconnecting you from your body for a reason because the trauma response is never wrong. It's there to protect us. But we cannot live in that state forever because it's unhealthy and we need our body be connected to our body to feel alive.
Hello, Holly. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful, and thank you so very much for being here. You say I truly appreciate you. And you see, Ollie, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Ollie, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest that in yourself. And oftentimes, Ollie, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. They say some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Ollie, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree, the mango tree's got no leaves on it, no fruits on it as well, and the branches, nah. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Ollie, just recently I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. And not just mangoes now, Holly. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a wonderful experience that day, and I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Holly that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your philosophies, your insight, the impact your work is having, and how you are offering your solutions. This stuff's so beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, Ollie, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Ollie is doing. And not only me now, because I don't want to be selfish, and even with the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Ollie. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And
Well,
secondly,
I'm so flattered. Thank you. Like,
yeah, secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, Ollie.
well, yeah, no, thank you. I think, it's mutually
Beautiful.
beneficial, and I'm excited for our conversation.
Beautiful. So let's get started. Yeah, you see, I am quite excited to have you on the show today, Ollie, for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Ollie, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see,
Mhm.
Ollie, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the incredible Holly on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of informations flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Ollie, And our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So, for that reason, Ollie, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Ollie got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay,
Okay.
Ollie, over to
Okay.
you.
Yes. No, I just love what you said about knowledge because, on my journey to becoming a sex therapist, I'm not officially certified. I'm somewhere in the middle of completing that certification. It's a big one. But there's just so much misinformation out there about sex. And, I grew up in an oppressive religious community, and kind of the foundation of that religion is rooted in, the exploitation and abuse of women. And so I didn't have very good sex education growing up. And when I became an adult and was ready to start dating and exploring my sexuality, I was very underprepared for, protecting my sexual health and, the people around me's sexual health that I was dating and being physically intimate with. And so I didn't intend to end up a sex therapist. I didn't even know it was an option. So it's just kind of gradually evolved that way, and it's been really fun.
Amazing, and I got that. And thank you so very much for the beautiful stuff that you're doing. Because I feel like this topic on sex is actually very, very important and it is less talked about. When I came across a particular news on the internet, and it was between a husband and his wife, and the
Mhm.
news said that the husband decided to divorce his wife because of a poor sex life, or how do I put it? The wife lacks this understanding and about sex, and he said he's just fed up of the relationship. He's tired of the marriage. And I said to myself, I said, could something like this really put an end to marriage? And ever since then, you see, I became so curious. I want to know more and I want to understand more. So when I came across you, and I saw the beautiful stuff you're doing, I said, yeah, that is it right there. Let's just get to it. So I want you to really educate us today, all right? So we're good. I've got some questions here, all right? So let's begin
Mhm.
first with the body and trauma. So what does it mean to reconnect with your body after trauma?
Ah, yes. So trauma impacts safety in the body because the brain no longer views the body as safe. So reconnecting with the body is essential to be alive. But it is also very scary because, your brain is, disconnecting you from your body for a reason, because the trauma response is never wrong. It's there to protect us. But we cannot live in that state forever because it's unhealthy. And again, we need our body be connected to our body to feel alive. So it's about reconnecting with, sensations, bodily sensations in slow, gentle ways that the person who's experienced the trauma is fully in control of and at their pace when they're ready.
Hmm, hmm. And at their pace when you're ready. Okay, I got that. So, how does religion shape the way people view sex and pleasure? Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah. I think it'll probably look a little bit different for men, women, and queer people. But let's lump women and queer people in the same category. You're going to be taught overall, like if we're talking about Christianity, which is, prominent in the US, you're probably going to come away with messages that something's wrong with you. Um, it's dirty, gross. If you're a woman, it's necessary for having babies. If, you're gay, you need to deny those parts of yourself because, God isn't going to accept you for being the way that you are. And if it's men, it's a little bit different of messaging. Like, you should always want it. You should always be sexually dominant. And then again, something's wrong with you if your body or if just you as a person are not like that. naturally.
Our bodies are not like that naturally. Okay, so how can a partner support someone healing from sexual trauma?
Yeah. Oh, this is just such a raw, painful question. I think not trying to pry into details. I think just being, there for them, being really conscious about asking them if it's okay if they touch them and making it completely safe for them to say no, trying not to take it personal if that person, the person who is recovering from trauma, is needing more space and doesn't want to be touched. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of understanding
A
from
lot
the
of
part.
patience and a lot of
Mhm.
understanding from the partner.
Mhm.
I got it. Okay, so what does true intimacy look like beyond sex?
Yeah, I like the word intimacy because I view it as into me see. So, first off, you're able to kind of see into yourself and understand yourself on a deep level because we can't go deeper with others and we're not willing to go with ourselves. And then it's willing to see that other person in that way as well, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, in whatever way people practice. And, I think those types of intimacy create an even deeper type of sexual intimacy if they're, thriving and well.
Hmm, hmm. Okay, so what about this one? How can partners talk about needs and boundaries safely?
Mhm. Yeah. Um, this is probably one of the most common things that I work with. I think learning to own it from your experience, kind of, like those I feel statements that most therapists probably talk about at some point with their clients. Learning how to own your experience and communicate more vulnerably, which is, saying those deeper emotions, that there needs to be safety in the relationship in order for them to be expressed, but learning to express those emotions because it creates a different dialogue for where your partner doesn't feel like they need to be on the defense or, strike back because they feel attacked. It just creates a different dance, a different conversation.
Hmm. Wow, I never knew that. Okay, so why do people often lose interest in sex over time? I mean, couples, why do they lose interest in sex over time?
Yeah, that there's lots of different reasons. Hormones, life changes, kids, job loss, trauma. Um, Sometimes it's resentment within the relationship, like one partner feels like they do more and they're not getting, the support that they need around the house and the kids. That's typically like heterosexual issues right there. Um, but yeah, lots of things.
Hormones. Wow. Okay, so what is one step couples can take to start again gently?
Sorry, what was that last part?
Yeah, I said, what is one step couples can take to start again gently?
Yeah, so I use a technique called Sensate Focus, and I think it works really well for couples who have maybe, haven't been sexual for a long time. And what it is it's a series of mindfulness touch exercises that are not meant to be sexual. It's just meant for the couple to get curious about what touch is like for them and not focus so much on their partner and to make it a priority. And it's a really gentle way to work with the nervous system and help couples reconnect who've been sexually distant for a while.
For a while, and that's a great one. So, seeing how experienced you are, how has the journey been so far in this particular work you're doing?
Oh, I love it. I never knew that working could be so much fun. It's really fulfilling. Hmm. Even like the content that I make on TikTok, like I had somebody anonymously message me and tell me that because of a post that I had made, they were able to realize that what had happened to them was sexual assault, was actually, and they were able to like report it and get help. So it's wonderful on so many levels.
Wonderful on so many levels. I got that. So, what is one message you want people to remember about healing and intimacy?
Mm, it's not linear. So adjust your expectations. You know, one day you could feel great and then the next day you could feel terrible, and that's all part of the process. And then I think that, you know, they deserve all the pleasure and that their body gives to them. You know, our body gives us this amazing gift, and it's, you know, yours and yours alone as an individual to enjoy and explore and deem what you do and do not want to do with it. And don't let anybody, you know, tell you otherwise.
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So, can you talk to us finally about the importance of, sex education? Because, like I mentioned earlier, the other couples that they are at the edge of experiencing divorce because of the wife's poor sex life. So, can
Hmm.
you talk to us about how sex education is important?
Yeah, I mean, there's that. So you know how to communicate your wants, needs, and desires within a relationship and navigate, you know, sexual differences, which is a part of every single relationship. And then there's also the sexual health aspect, you know, how to protect yourself and others from unwanted pregnancies, STIs, and protect yourself from just understanding what is and is not okay in terms of consent. Oh, there's so many layers to it.
So many layers to it. I got there. So finally, Ali, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who like to reach out to you, learn more about the wonderful stuff you're doing, or ask you questions, or make a purchase of your services or programs, how can that be possible?
Yes. Okay. So the best ways to reach me are probably through my website, theconnectioncouch.com, or through my TikTok platform, which is the handle is Sex Therapy with Holly. And then I think the message that I would like to leave everyone with is, you know, sex, like your libido is your life force energy. And, you know, we're closest to the divine when we're tapping into pleasure and our erotic selves. So, yeah, that's
Beautiful. So that's going to be the end of the show, Ali. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing this stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much.